Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm finally doing the question and answer video from my wedding. I got so many questions from you guys. I was really surprised at the amount of questions I got, and some of them are just so funny, so I'm going to share all of these questions with you guys. If you are a bride and you are new to my channel, I do have an entire series on wedding planning. I will link that series down below. I go from the start of my wedding all the way to the end. And of course, if you are new, please subscribe and like. I post twice a week, so I would love for you to stick around on my channel. And let's get started. The first question is, when did you start planning your wedding? I started planning my wedding pretty quickly after I got engaged. I just wanted all of the big things figured out so I wouldn't have to be stressed out about them. I think we had the venue picked and booked, the tent, all of the furniture within the first 2 to probably 3 months of being engaged. I just wanted all of that stuff done and out of the way since that stuff is the most important. I do think the food though is really important and should be decided on really early if you can. I don't think we picked a caterer until like 6 weeks until our wedding, which is extremely late, so if you can pick food and all that stuff really early, I definitely recommend it. Someone else asked for a lot of tips for doing projects yourself. My whole wedding series is tons of projects that I DIY'd, so make sure to check that out. I thought this next question was really funny. Why did you change your name on social media before you were married? So when I first started a YouTube channel, it was simply Alexandra321, and I wanted all of my social medias to be the same thing. It's just so much easier. So I did Simply Alexandra, and then somebody had Simply Alexandra on Instagram. And then I realized I wanted my first and last name, but it was like 6 months before the wedding, I think. It might have been a little longer, I'm really not sure. And so I changed my YouTube, my Instagram, I started a Facebook page for YouTube with Alexandra Beater. I just wanted everything the same and it wasn't taken. I wanted my name anyway, and since my name was about to change, I just wanted everything to be what it would be, so that's why I did it. I just really wanted everything as the same thing. What are you planning to do with your wedding gown? I probably will keep it. I really don't see me selling it or getting rid of it at this point. Plus, it was an outdoor wedding and it was like floor length, so it got so dirty inside. I really don't think anyone would want it, and I knew that was going to happen, but I'll probably hold on to it for forever, I hope. What was your favorite thing and your least favorite thing about planning a wedding? My least favorite thing is probably just how time consuming it is. I mean, there's so many small things that take a really long time, or just talking with vendors, like I feel like that always takes forever and it's not just one and done. I wish it was, but for so many things, I had to talk to them several times, or I had to change a bunch of things, like so many different times. So I just think it always takes longer than you think it will, at least for me. And my favorite thing about planning a wedding is probably just the day of, seeing all this hard work that you've put into done and finished. I feel like that was just such a good feeling, seeing how hard I worked. I was really happy with how everything turned out, so that's probably my favorite part. What did you spend the most money on? I feel like probably food. I don't know, food is just so much more expensive than you think it is. We did hire a catering company, and so I think if you do a venue and it's like food and the venue and just so many things all in one, then you don't really see exactly the breakdown of how much everything really costs. But since we brought everything in ourselves, we saw that. So I think food is probably the most expensive. I also had a question asking about the vendors and the top 3 that I spent the most money on. Honestly, I feel like it's so different for everyone, especially depending on where you live. I think that has a huge difference in how much things cost. But overall, the venue, the food and alcohol, and like furniture is the most expensive, I think, for anyone. How did you do your seating chart? So in my wedding video, and then in the last wedding video that says hall in the title, I think I'm wearing a white shirt and have a ponytail or something. I showed you guys in that video how I did a seating chart, but I just bought like a really old frame, and then I bought fake moss and I put that down, and then I painted some numbers, and then I printed out like everyone's name for each table on a piece of paper that had like a floral background. And then I did a place card at every table. I also have a video showing you guys how to make place cards, so it should be in the titles of a lot of those videos, and if it's not, it's probably in the thumbnail picture. Were you nervous, and how did you handle the stress of everything? So I wasn't nervous about like marriage and things like that. I was just nervous about the wedding in general. Like, if it rained or if something, happened, something bad happened, whatever, which everything was fine. But I feel like everyone stresses out. It's just part of a wedding and it's really hard to avoid it. So what was the timeline of events on your wedding day? For example, ceremony, cocktail hour, first dance, etc. I love your wedding series. Thank you so much for watching. So we did our ceremony at 4. Honestly, it's probably like 4:15. And then we did a cocktail hour until 6. And that's when the reception was. And then that was probably a little over an hour, but honestly, I'm not really sure exactly how long that lasted. And then after that, we cut the cake. We did father-daughter dance, son and mother dance. I don't know what to call that. I threw the bouquet. We did that stuff pretty back to back. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't, like from one to the other. There's probably like a song or two in between everything. But I really just wanted to get that stuff out of the way. And by the way, we did have a DJ and not a band. Originally, I wanted a band, but having a DJ, I just feel it's really important to have someone running the show, someone to say, okay, we're doing this now, we're doing this now, we're doing that now. And just having someone pay attention to a timeline, I think is really important. That way you get everything in and you don't, forget something or rush it or have to do something at the end of the night when not everyone's there anymore. So I really enjoyed having a DJ for that reason. And this next question I thought was something, I don't know if this is even helpful, but she just asked, like, for my situation, how do you decide who pays for what for the wedding, like if you split things down the middle or things like that. And personally, we think of our money as our money, like if I have $5, he has $5 kind of thing. So I probably paid for way more of like the little things, but he also paid for like a lot of the big things. At the end of the day, it really did even out. I don't know, we just don't think of it as like, I paid $20 for this, so you pay $20 for this. We just think like, here's all of our money and we spent $20 on something, you know what I mean? We don't really think of it as like separate, so I hope that kind of answers your question. What was your Airbnb experience like? I've seen a few people who do that instead of a traditional venue. So I loved doing it because we had it for 4 days, I think it was 3 or 4 days, but I'm pretty sure it was 4 days. So it was just way less stressful having the venue and setting up slowly, sort of, like sliding things around to see how we liked it the best. It wasn't like we had it the day of and that was it. So I just feel like it took so much stress off of us. I really loved it. I definitely recommend it. We did a cottage on Lake Michigan and there was like a huge lawn to one side of it where it was like the water is literally right there. So it was just a really cool venue. I loved it. This was a good one because I planned a lot of our wedding in San Francisco when our wedding was here in Michigan. So she's asking if I have any tips for brides planning their weddings from afar. She lives in Florida and her wedding's going to be in Tennessee. Ask for pictures. Ask for as many pictures as you can so you know exactly what you're getting. That is so important. And it's just, like things are expensive and you don't want to be paying for something when you're expecting something else. So I asked for pictures. I also did a scaled floor plan, which was really tedious, but I rented so much furniture and it was expensive. I wanted to make sure it fit in our tent and that I didn't pay for something we wouldn't be able to use. So I did like a floor plan of our tent. I asked for the dimensions of all the furniture, just like approximate. It didn't have to be like, exact. And so I could see kind of what things would fit. And I'm glad I did that because I had a little too much stuff and I canceled it a few weeks before the wedding, so I didn't have to pay for it. So if you can do like a scaled floor plan, I really recommend it. I also had another question asking where the bridesmaids dresses were from. They all were from Rent the Runway and everyone wore a different dress, but they all kind of fit together. Like there were 2 pink, 2 purple, and 2 blue, and then they all had floral on them. So I thought they looked really nice together. I also had another question asking if I picked a different designer for my wedding dress. So I did a DIY bride video in like the very beginning of this series, and it was about the Lace and Liberty, what do I call it? Service. So I think that's all separate. I'm honestly not positive. It's been a while, but it's a really cool small company and they do a lot of really nice pieces. And if you want to try things on, they'll ship it to you, like ship you samples so you can see how it looks on and how it fits and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. I loved that service, but I just decided I wanted something a little more fitted and they really didn't have an exact silhouette that I was looking for. So I got a dress by Monique Lhuillier and I love that dress. I thought it was so beautiful. It was very me. Honestly, it was very uncomfortable, but that's just who I am. Like, I really don't care how comfortable I am. Like, I had to pull it up a little so I could even sit down, but I loved it. It was just part of the experience. Like, I really wasn't that concerned with it being uncomfortable. It was definitely tight, but it was one of those dresses where it's really more about what it looks like. Like, a fitted dress isn't going to be that comfortable sitting down, if you know what I mean. So I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I was very happy with it. I love the filter idea. How did you get one? I'm sure she's talking about the Snapchat filter. We had a custom Snapchat filter at our wedding, and it was just really cool. So it had our names on it, flowers, our wedding location. It was just really, really cute. So I will link the video down below where I talk about how to do that. And this one was probably the funniest of them all. Who was your wedding planner? Right here, girl, right here. And those are all of the questions I'm going to answer for this video. I feel like it's probably super long to begin with, so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your love and support on my DIY bride series. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and like if you are new, and let me know what videos you would like to see next on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!